Seriously, that's all it was sent on for. Looks like it is. Yeah. Well folks, how the hell are yous? Today we have another repairathon video by the looks of it. Not a bucket of tools, a basket of tools this time. This lump of stuff has been left on for repair, and looks like some of these might be repeat offenders. That one, by the looks of it, was on here before for repair. This is on from a local company, so some of these might have been on before. We're going to get stuck into these and see what we can get fixed up. First of all, what's all on it? So we have a Makita grinder, a Bosch 4.5 inch grinder, Bosch drill. These are all corded too, so they're all muddled up. Another Bosch grinder, a Metabo. These are all twisted together. Looks like another 3 Bosch grinders, all 4.5 inch. Another Bosch precision drill. Don't know if I can do anything with that. A draper ratchet. Sometimes you can actually fix these here. There's a BGS actually, not a draper. You can sometimes fix them. Buy the gears and wee bits for them, get a wee repair kit. But you don't get them for every brand. We'll have to see if we can do anything with that. Right, we start with the one that's already out, the Makita. I'll take them one at a time. Right, the Makita, it's actually a 2017 machine. She does turn. Wee bit sticky. What's going on there? She just doesn't always run. Right, this was on here before, so we'll check what was done the last time. Right, it's nearly a year since it was on the last time. The last time it was on, it actually got a new switch. Right, I have to guess a switch because if it was an electronic or a motor problem, it's not going to be worth fixing anyway. So we'll try the switch. We'll see if it helps. Otherwise, she is running. Lines seem okay. And we switch seems alright. Everything here is one piece. Controller, the leads, this wee small switch, and the stator, all one piece. Luckily the switch is available on its own, but that's it. Even the wee speed controller down here, it's part of the controller unit. And this was obviously packed out before too. What's that? Bit of plastic or something. Just had the wee paper trick done to it, so obviously this was rubbing in the past. It's packed out with the paper. Right. Chance of switch. Normally when they go, they do burn the contacts, or burn up somewhere down here, or melt. So don't know if that's going to cure it or not, because that one's not melted. First of all, let's see if we've got one in stock. One switch. Now, these aren't too expensive, 25 or 30 euro for one of these. And normally, if there's a contact problem, when you give the battery a wiggle, it'll start stopping and starting. And you'll know it's definitely, because if it stops, you'll hear it run down very slowly. The brake won't engage at all. That's normally an indication that it's the battery contacts. The battery's actually getting disconnected. This, because she's stopping sharp, seems exactly switching off, so I'd imagine it might be the switch. If it's not the switch, it's going to be the controller. If the controller goes, it's not worth fixing, because that'll cost nearly as much as the whole machine. See if that's any improvement. Now, sometimes if it's an intermittent fault, you don't always get to test it. You can't always see the fault. If it's an intermittent one and it's only doing every once in a while, sadly you're not going to know until you give it back to the customer. It's them who's going to run it enough to see if it's cured it or not. Obviously here in a workshop, you can hardly sit wasting time running this here for 15 or 20 minutes trying different cuts to see if you can get it to stop. If there's anything still wrong with it, the customer will quickly come back and let you know. One of the reasons I do only like to do local repairs, because if something's been sent back by post and had an intermittent fault, it seems a lot worse. But when they're local and there's still something wrong with it, at least they can just drop back in with it. Right, that seems to have fixed it. Seems to be running anyway. Just give them a wee quick clean so it's actually getting air as well. Much better. Right, that's the first one. One Makita DGA 467 with a new switch. Now, next up, we'll chance one of the wee Bosch grinders. Actually, that's quite a simple fix, a simple problem. Broke the switch off, the actual switch lever. Looks like it's had a drop. I just bust this here off. Normally whenever these do break off, you actually break off these wee arms, these wee catches that they clip onto. Only one of them at least breaks. This looks to be the original switch, but it hasn't actually bust them. But I'm still going to replace the actual switch. Might still be in one piece, but the thing will cost like €1 or so, so I may as well change it. The only downside of this is it might be a simple part and very cheap, but it's not all that easy a fix, or not straightforward anyway. The switch here, the wee legs, don't have to just go through this hole, but this hole here underneath. See, that's the wee slider. That's the actual slide for the switch. So this is where you're switching it on. The slider goes down here to the actual switch and engages the lever down here. So that has to go through here and through this hole here. But obviously the slider is just a big long piece of plastic and it's a tight fit. So the more you actually push it on, the more that wee slider just moves out of the way. So there's no way to get that switch in without dismantling it. So this one we need to get inside of. Of course that means the brushes too. Bearings sound good in this as well. Get that out of the way. So we can get under here. Now you can access the little slider there. This boy here. Let's just give this a wee clean because there's some debris in here as well. So the actual slide switch or switch button. That's the number there for the GWS 7/115 grinder. What this one is, that's the number you have to order. This is a whopping €1.50. It's well worth just actually replacing it if you have any doubts about it. You get it on, click it under there, slide it down, then you get this one pushed in as well. That's it. That slider actually comes all the way down to here to engage the switch down here. Sadly, you have to get all the way in there just for that. And you can put it all back together again. Mind you, it's not like it's difficult to do. Just a little bit of grease on that rubber just to help it slide on. Brush is back in again. That one and this one. And your holders. Your cover. Just check the lead as well. Just to be sure, it's fine. Put on your cover again. That should do. Back here, so you change the little slide switch on the Bosch GWS 7/115. €1 part, but there's a little bit of stripping down to actually get it on. That's her. Next up, I'll chance one of these Bosch drills. It's going to need a new plug anyway. Hopefully this isn't the actual problem. That's actually broken the earth pin off the plug. So I'll have to jimmy this to actually get it onto the socket. Our sockets and plugs here, very, very well designed. They actually are very, very safe. Even the sockets, the live and neutral pins on the socket that it's got onto, has actually got a door on them. So whenever this isn't installed, the door closes, so you can't stick anything in. Wayne couldn't stick a screwdriver on or a finger into the live socket, so you'll not get an electric shock. The way these will go on, so if you put something into the earth pin first, the earth pin's actually tapered and there's a little door. So as the earth pin goes in, it lifts up a door to allow these here to go on. And because not everything uses an earth pin, like so these here, they're class 2, they're double insulated, so they don't need an earth lead. Sometimes the earth pin can just be plastic. Normal plugs that you buy, they could be either way, so they always give you a pin that can be used. So this here's a metal pin if you're using an earth lead on it. But plastic or metal, as you can see, the earth pin's always a little bit longer, so that allows it to actually open the door before these two neutral and live pins go on. So without this here plastic pin, this doesn't go on without a fight. I had to persuade it in some way. That can't be all it is. Chuck's working. Two speeds are working. So that's seriously all it is. Sean drill. This hammer. Seriously. That's all it was sent in for. Oh well. At least it's a simple fix. These Bosch leads might be very skinny, but they're actually quite good. It's inside of them. Out of blades. Have to load one at a time. There's inside. It actually has cord. Sign of a good cable. No matter what you're doing with this thing, you're pulling it, you're basically pulling this here cotton cord inside, not the windings. It's just less likely to break the cable. It's a sign of a good quality cable when you have that inside of it. Not many come with that now. plugs over here, these 30 amps plugs and sockets. You could do a whole video on their own, how well designed they actually are. There's so many features built into them. Everything about them makes them practical. They're a little bit big, but they're very safe. Now, that is a very simple fix. Yeah, nothing else seems to be wrong with that. Shock's good, gears are good, and it's running. Plug must have been all it was. Might seem trivial, but in the likes of a workshop, if you can't plug the thing in, you can't use it. And if your boss sees you sticking a screwdriver into a socket to try and put a plug in, they're not going to let you use the tool. And a lot of places don't actually allow their employees to modify tools, to change them. So it's not unusual to get them in for a very simple fix like that. Like I say, without that pin, you can't plug this thing in without doing something very silly. So that's that one. Now, back on to another Bosch grinder. This is actually the GWS 9/105S. I wouldn't be a fan of these ones unless you're needing speed control. It's a decent wee grinder if you're needing to vary your speed, but it's a 4.5-inch grinder. They're not the greatest. This is also going to need a lead, because that's damaged. It's actually cut through there, so a lead will be needed. That's for the machine. Right, common one as well for these 9115S machines. They're 900 watt motor, a good strong motor on it, but the gears in the head aren't the greatest. If you're actually using them for grinding, the extra load can wear the gears very fast, which is probably what happened here. So that's dropped out. So it's going to need new gears to get this running. Gears and a lead are going to be a bit pricey. Also want to make sure it's actually running. They're that bad. I don't know if it's that sound. It's from the motor or from the gears. Kind of sounds like it could be a bit of both. Take off this head first, so we're going to run the motor on its own. So there's the main problem. That gear's stripped out. If that's stripped out, this one's stripped out. That's what that colour is in there, that silvery shine. It's all the metal from the gears. sounds okay otherwise. So we'll just replace them gears and put in a set of brushes because they're gone. Or at least not far away from being gone. Yeah, change them. Just see what the armature's like as well. Yeah, it's not too bad. Also, the bearings aren't too bad. Right. Clean out this head, get rid of all the metal. We'll press out this gear. We'll take this one off. Yeah, that one's fine. Leave that. Clean this, press this off. And of course I have to show the cleaning now. Since I finally cleaned out the parts washer. Such a pleasure to use on this nice fresh kerosene. All the other paint brushes are for, smaller ones and finer ones, into all the nooks and crannies. Quick little rinse. Up like a new head again. Now this gear needs to be pressed out. Tight fit on the spindle. Quite a bit of force to get it out. Get that out. This bearing's fine, so we don't have to change that. Just need this gear. That's it. All washed out. Ready to go. Now, stick it in the box. I still don't have any more of these gears. I actually have one machine already stripped down, waiting on the same set. And nothing's arrived on yet, so can't do anything for this until I get the parts. All I can do, box it up and wait for them to come on. I'll stick the new brushes on, change the lead. For now, that's it. Now for something different, a Metabo. Now when it comes to steel tools like grinders, nothing wrong with Metabos. Actually quite good. As you can see from the size of it, it's a big machine, it has a bigger motor. So this is the W8/115. Imagine this should be an 800 watt machine. Yeah, 800 watts. So it's a fairly big machine and obviously able to do quite a bit of work. This one's from 2009 and not working. Pop that off. awkward way to do this. Brushes look okay. Slides off this way. Little window. You can peel back here. Allow to actually change these leads and access the contacts. Just double check this. So, nice simple one. Just a lead. It's only a lead, but it is kind of awkward to do. Like machines that come apart like this. But what can you do? Now the cables and the switch are basically just pressed on. I don't know if you can see in there. The lead comes on, you just go straight in, and there's a wee metal spring sitting at an angle. So the lead's able to push past the spring, but because it's at an angle, it can go in, but it can't come out. So you try to pull it, it just wedges itself in. So to actually take it out, you have to lift up the little spring down in here. Get a long pokey and get them out. There's just a screwdriver. The tip broke off of it, so you put it into a point. Wee pointy boys like this come in so handy in the workshop, especially for these wee jobs. Push it on nice and gently, prise up the wee spring, and the lead comes out. Now Metabo just soldered the end of these leads to make them solid enough to push under that wee spring. I'm just using the wee bootless ferrules, same thing. That makes them solid enough to push in, and the way the wee crimp on gives them wee ridges, so it allows it to push in and not come out. But you can do either. That on there, and then just push in your new leads. Goes in and doesn't come out. It's a very handy way to change the leads. Simple as that. And also just replace this little door so that dust and dirt doesn't get in. And that's it. And that just slides back onto there. I'll fit this on here first. That there. Make sure your switch is in the track. And you can just clamp down your lead. Nothing wrong with the old plug. A little bit battered, but it's still functional, so I'll just reuse that. And that should hopefully be her. That's it. One old Metabo WH-115 4.5 inch grinder from 2009. Up and running again with just a bit of cable. Next up is another 9/115 Bosch grinder. And that's the same thing. Stripped gears. And again, a new lead. Right, motor's okay. It needs a new lead. There's damage back there too. New lead, new plug, new gears, just like the last one. Probably a new set of brushes too. But just like the last one, I ain't got the gears, so I'm gonna have to let this sit. 6 sets of them on order. I'll have to wait for them to come in. The next one is the Bosch drill, another one of these. This one's had its lead replaced before. That was a lot heavier. Right, so that's not good. I don't think that's a set of brushes somehow. Oh, roasting hot. So that armature's cooked. Just cook the brush holder a little bit too. Might get away with that. Just see at the inside like, because that is very, very hot. Too warm sometimes, they can melt the feel too. Which I suspect this might have done. Seeing as it's not coming out. Yeah, it's melted the field. So we'll take that out. And have the bust, we just prise it out, destroying the field anyway. Before we go to that sort of bother, we'll just price it up, see what the actual field armature cost, plus brushes and maybe even a body. Right, a little bit risky. The drill itself cost about €300. Some places you pay a little bit more, some a little bit less, but roughly around 300. To change the armature, field and brushes, you're looking at least €150. So half the price of the machine to do this repair. A little bit risky. Plus, it's actually a 2016 machine. So she's 8 years of work actually done already. Only thing that would put me off with doing this is the transmission on them. There's a little transmission here, which is basically the clutch. That can sometimes wear as well. If it's worn enough to burn out the motor, she might have worn the clutch as well. And if that needs to also be changed, you're into another €50 on top of that again. And with the chuck already been changed, potentially the body been melted too, and the brush holder, I'm going to just say no to this one. It's getting a little bit too risky. Plus he does have a second one of these that is still working, so at least if this isn't fixed, it's spare parts, because you can use it to fix the other one if there's any problems with it. When they get around halfway, or half the price of a new machine, generally I'll start to call quits on that. If it's under half, we'll go ahead, or at least give the customer a ring. When it's at the halfway mark or more, I'd be a wee bit weary of doing it myself. Customer wants it fixed, that's fine, we'll go ahead. But let the customer say so, I just wouldn't be for doing it. I don't have this man's number to ring him, so for now I'm going to say it's not been fixed. Like I say, he's a local man anyway, and I don't think he would want to pay that kind of money for it. If he buys a new one, at the end of the day he's going to get a long fresh warranty with it, so it'll be a safer bet than fixing this one. So this, I'm afraid, ain't going to be fixed. Not at that kind of money. Next, we have another 9/115S. Got a new plug fitted. I think that's a new lead because it's a rubberized one. Factory fitted one's more of a plasticky kind of lead. This one, what's wrong with it? Running. Gears are alright. It locks. Yeah, it's all come off. Just tight. Yeah, it is locking. What was that sent on for? Maybe it's just a cable again. Wires exposed. Snuck there too. Yeah, that's all I can see anyway. I'll just change this cable as well. Change the grommet too. I need to get this glue out of here. Your cable. Reuse the plug and fit a new grommet. There's now HO7 cable instead of HO5, so it's a little bit thicker. So you need the new grommet for it to fit. Actually, we'll also just change them brushes because they're just about gone. Save this another trip on. Now, the brushes is one of the reasons why I actually don't like this particular Bosch grinder. Not just because the gears wear out very quick, but just the fact that it's a 900 watt grinder. It's variable speed. It's a lot more expensive, but it's not any better. It's not like you're up in price to have a higher quality machine. These here brushes actually fit the smaller version as well, the GWS 750. That's just a very basic machine. Same brushes for this as for that. Different number, but the same size. The older 91115 was a big heavy duty 900 watt grinder. They had big massive brushes on them for taking the load. This here one just went with skinny wee brushes, so it can't do all that much work. But if you're looking for variable speed in a grinder, it's good for that. Basically you can use it like a little polisher. But apart from that, I would be going with the 7115 myself. Now, plug, we're using the old one. The old one actually is a Dura plug. These here are actually brilliant quality plugs. Used to use them here in the workshop myself, but they became so expensive I couldn't afford to put them on anymore. That should be her. My best crack about this whole basket of tools is there's no number and no description on anything. You have to guess with every single one of them as to what it's been sent on for. So that, I'm guessing, was a lead, but I had to change it anyway because it was damaged. Once I get a machine on with a cut on the lead, I have to change it. But the brushes were also gone as well, so just replace them while we're at it. Right, this is also in the basket, so we'll have a quick wee gander at it to see if we can do anything. BGS 1/2 inch ratchet, and obviously it's not engaging. Not even changing the lever correctly. We'll open it and see if it can be fixed. Well rusted in there. Maybe rust is the problem. Looks like it is. It's not looking good, but it doesn't actually look worn out. Spring's not too bad. might actually get away with this. She's just seized up with rust. These wee arms here are on a spring, so the spring pushes them up. That gauges this here wheel, so it allows it to turn one way and not the other. So if this one's up, it can turn one direction. If you turn this lever, so whenever this one then comes up, jams it in the other direction, it allows it to turn on the other side. But if these don't move, the whole thing stops working. This is down beside salt water, so that's why she's all rusted up. Get that out. Give the inside a clean. Clean all these parts. Put it back together with a wee bit of grease. See if it works. That's those bits. A little bit of washing. A wee bit of a scrub with a wire brush. Everything actually came up quite well. Plate was probably the main thing. Everything else wasn't too bad. There's nothing pitted or corroded too badly inside. The inside of the ratchet itself. Bit of a clean, some grease might cure this. And obviously don't put in too much grease, because it's just all going to come out again. Get that in, a little shim. Gonna sit down in there. Make sure everything's got a decent enough coating. That'll help prevent rust as well. Which way am I now? This way. Yeah. Now these are going to be sighted. Nope, have to put them on first. I assume it's that way. The spring. That's down like that. That's in there. And your change lever then goes on. It's just sliding in between the two. So whenever you have it one way, one's engaged. You turn it the other way. This one goes down and this one comes up. Then we can put on the actual anvil. So because these little wedges are sitting at an angle, they're sitting up this way. If you turn it one way, it just gets pushed out of the way against the spring. But when you turn it the other way, it locks up and holds it, because the teeth are actually being pushed down onto the handle itself and actually wedge it solid. You change over to the other side, same thing. Allows it to turn one direction, and then locks up on the other direction. So that's it. I'll leave that a wee bit of grease as well, all the way around, just to help stop it from rusting. So that's her. Rebuilt again. I should just give these a wee tiny bit of Loctite. because they do always eventually come slack again. So this is just centering this lever at the back. And these are actually holding on the plate. That's it. One BGS 1/2 inch ratchet. Fixed up again. Quick clean, re-grease. And soon freeze it up. What'll be wrong with that? Up and running again. That'll save them buying a new one. Not that they cost very much. Leave install. It's amazing when a tool rusts up like that. Some people still wouldn't think to put a little bit of grease onto it or oil. Makes it last a hell of a lot longer. Anyway, that's her working again. Now, last one out of this lot is the actual Bosch GWS 7/115. This is the last one now. This not working. No work. Well, that's working. Wonder what they mean there. No, there's the problem there. It's the lock button, it's not working. It's not going all the way on. At least they were slack enough to come off. Actually just not getting down far enough. It just need to be replaced. Yeah, there's the problem. Look at all that gunk. Probably could have got away with putting that under the parts washer and just let the stuff flow over it. Give it a wee rub. It might have freed it out or washed it out. But then again, it mightn't have got all of it either. Anyway, just like the Makitas, the little buttons aren't expensive. Actual head's okay anyway. Hasn't damaged anything there. That's actually a little bit worn. You've got a chamfer over here now. So that's going to be the locking edge. So as it's gone on here. And obviously if it's got a rounded over edge, it's not going to lock in tight. It wants a nice flat edge like that there to lock in properly. You could just rotate it around. The button itself is square, so that can't move. But if that starts shifting on the lock button at the top again, because this is just all round, it will just start to get into this groove again and eventually start slipping. So we'll just replace that. Is it a common repair? Yep. Always keep plenty of stock on them. Generally, that's from boys using this here lock button as a brake. This one is just packed out. This actually comes a little kit. There's a pin, a spring and a button all together. And just throw them all into this here box just for handiness in the container instead of having little bags everywhere. That whole kit for those 3 little pieces cost a whole €2. Very cheap and very worth replacing if you have any bother with them. Little pin goes on this side. You need something to rest the pin on. Your spring on top of it, and then your button. Tap that into place, and that's it. Nice, simple and easy repair. Much better. Lock it properly now. Ready for work. Anyway folks, that's it. That's a lot of them. Hope you enjoyed this basket of tools that came in for repair. I know it was mainly just grinders that actually were repaired, but grinders, let's face it, is the main thing you get in for repair. Either brushes, leads or general repairs, things like bearings. These are the main tool any repair shop is going to be getting in. Not just Bosch ones, but any brand at all. But anyway folks, that's it. That's a lot of them. Give us a wee like and a follow down below if you're enjoying the repair videos. And if you want, you can also hit that share and subscribe button there too. Cheers. Thanks for watching.